You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hello and welcome to Comics with My Kids. I'm your host, Matt D. And with me today is...
Logan D.
Alright, and Logan, you are back in the seat today. And we have something that's kind of a fast book to read in a flash manner with some basic facts that helps produce wisdom and knowledge using STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. That's right, folks. Today we are talking about a book called Flash Facts. It is edited by Mayiam Bialik, PhD, and she's also known as Amy from Big Bang Theory and Blossom from the classic TV series Blossom. And of course, Mayiam Bialik is a neuroscientist, and she's pushing the STEM program through DC comic books. And she helped edit an anthology written by Sholly Fish, Darian Johnson, Amy Chu, Dustin Hanson, drawn by Ili Gonzalez, Andy Tong, Greta Lusky, and a plethora of other people. What Flash Facts is an anthology book that talks about STEM and has a lot of graphic novel stories that help kids learn about science, technology, engineering, or math. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the Flash Facts book, which came out on February 2nd of 2021. You can go ahead and check out the book yourself at Comixology, Amazon, DC Comics, any place you can buy comic books or trade paperbacks and graphic novels. All right, Logan. Well, since I rambled on for the last 3 minutes about the intro to this book, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the stories in Flash Facts?
Each chapter is a different story, and each story has superheroes in it. The superheroes do stuff, and
they do stuff?
Yeah, they do stuff that are like sciencey things and tell you about some science stuff.
Okay.
Like in the first one, Flash was telling you about solving a crime.
How was he solving the crime? With what science tools was he solving crimes? He
was using all kinds of weird tools to find out DNA. And he took blood samples from broken glass. And he even grabbed threads and hair stuff.
Hair stuff? What's hair stuff? Is that like hair gel?
It's just hair.
Oh, hair? Okay. Kind of back up a little bit. What is the Flash's regular day job? He's not just a superhero.
He's a scientist.
He's a scientist, right. And what is the one thing that he does as a scientist? He is it's called forensics. He's a forensic scientist. He works for the Central City Police Department. And he helps solve crimes using... Starts with an S. Ends in an E. Sounds like science. Science?
Oh.
Riveting radio here, folks, as Logan is just staring at me intently, trying to figure out how to say the word science. All right, so Barry's using all kinds of cool forensics. So what's some of the tools that he's using to solve the crime?
He uses tweezers actually to pick up the hair and the other stuff like that from shoelaces. And at the end of this little story, you can try and figure out who was the one who committed the crime, because he gathers a ton of evidence using his super speed, and then he shows you the 3 evidence, and then it shows you 6 bad guys at the bottom that they could have been.
Okay.
And I used the evidence, and I easily figured it out.
Yeah, and what did you figure out with the evidence?
That it was Captain Cold.
Oh yeah.
Who did it?
How does the evidence tell you that it was Captain Cold?
Because there was a puddle there, and he uses ice, so that could have melted over time. before the people got there. And also there was white threads. And he's the only one with white threads.
What do you mean he's the only one with white threads?
Yeah, on his suit.
Oh, okay.
And it was also black hair. It was all just matched up to him.
I see. Well, that sounds pretty cool. So that was the first story, was Flash and forensics. What about the second story? What cool STEM stuff did we learn in the second story?
The little science one about this one was a 3D printer.
Oh, so we're talking engineering then.
Yeah, and Batman uses a 3D printer to make a fireproof suit to fight this one bad guy.
Oh, yeah? Was it Firebug?
I think that's his name.
So what did you learn about 3D printers from this then?
That they can make all kinds of stuff. And actually, at the end of the book, you actually see he used a 3D printer on the one guy who I think's supposed to be Robin.
Nope, that's Plastic Man.
Oh, and he turns Plastic Man into a coffee maker.
I think he asked Plastic Man to turn into a coffee maker. He can't really 3D print Plastic Man into a...
Well, he had to because at the beginning he gave away their cover because he farted.
Oh, okay.
Because he had so many burritos.
So how many stories are in here total?
Probably, I'd guess like 10.
10?
I don't know.
It seems like quite a bit. Let's see here. Batman was 3, 4...
The reason why it took to get through this so long was because we were having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. But that's all right. We were able to read it. And there's a lot of cool characters in here. Like, we have Jessica Cruz's Green Lantern. And what does she talk about in the story?
She talks
Lights
about
Out.
Power. She talks about power source.
Power source? Oh, like the Green Lantern's power source is the lantern?
No.
Well, yeah, but...
She doesn't have a lantern.
Yeah, that's it right there. See it floating there?
Well, she doesn't, hold a lantern.
Right. But so she talks about power and energy, huh?
Yes.
What kind of energy did we learn about?
Solar energy.
Yeah, solar energy. And what about the energy that's in the ground?
I forgot what that was.
She talks about coal and oil. She talks about geothermal energy, different energies that can help the environment as well. That don't make a big carbon footprint.
Because you see a duck come out of an area full of oil.
Yeah.
So she just wipes it clean and it loves her.
And we learn about wind energy and turbines. We learn about geothermal energy, which I think is the coolest.
Yeah.
And who's she teaming up with in this story?
She was telling flashbacks.
Ah, yeah, because the whole book is called Flash Facts, so of course, the Flash has to show up in some of these stories.
No, they just say flashback every once in a while.
Well, that was kind of his thing in the Flash comic books, is he'd drop a little hint of a Flash fact.
Ah.
You go through, you read these stories, you get introduced to some of these characters, you see some cool STEM stuff. At the end of the book is a little...
There's science experiments.
There's science experiments, thank you.
That's what Dad's trying to say.
You can learn about the salt water that's in our planet. There's a cool energy experiment you can use with a battery and a light bulb. There's subatomic atoms in action, where you take an eyedropper and some dye and some water, and you see how the atoms move in the water. Some really cool different sciencey experimenting stuff at the end of the book. So, Logan, as you're reading through these stories, what did you notice about some of the artwork?
That, actually nothing really that I noticed.
Really? You didn't notice that, each story had a different kind of art style?
How is it different?
Well, case in point, the one with Beast Boy and Cyborg, it's drawn very much like Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
But then the story before that, the one with Poison Ivy, a little cartoony, but a different kind of style, a different kind of look to the cartoon.
How does that not look like Teen Titans Go?
Well, Teen Titans stuff is more round. These are actually, there's more angular stuff to it. It doesn't look like a kiddie cartoon. It looks more like a cartoon you'd see on Netflix or something. And then...
Do you think there's actually a Netflix on these?
I don't think so. And then, of course, the art style for the Batman story is different than the Poison Ivy one. And then, of course, the Flash one looks like a traditional Flash comic book.
And I see what you mean, because this Flash one is different than the one that Flash shows up with the Green Lantern.
Yeah, the one with the Green Lantern, he looks more like a teenager. With this one, he looks like an adult.
He actually looks kind of funny in the one.
Yeah. It's part of the anthology thing where they choose a different artist to give a different style. That way it all doesn't look the same throughout the whole book.
Yeah.
So out of all these stories, which one's your favorite one?
I think my favorite one was the one with the atoms.
Oh, yeah? Why don't you tell me a little bit about the story with the atom?
So there's this one guy who makes this machine, and there's this, like, girl Shazam looking.
Yeah, Mary Marvel.
And she and him use the shrinking machine to learn about little atoms. And first they go into a water bottle, and they can see all the particles in it.
Cool.
And they look at different things.
Not only was water in there, but what else was in there?
Can't remember what those were.
Were there, like, minerals and stuff in there as well?
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, huh?
What's your favorite? Or did you not read this?
Oh, I skimmed through it. I didn't read every story. I like the Flash one, the one with forensics, but I've always been a big fan of forensics and, criminal science. What's that?
Is it the first one?
Yeah, the first one with the Flash.
There's two with the Flash in it.
The first one with the Flash. And of course, the last story has the Flash, too.
Yeah, there's three.
See. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Is there anything else you want to add about this cool book, Flash Facts?
I think it's a really good sciencey book.
Yeah? Would you recommend it to your cousins or our neighbors or anybody?
I think I might recommend it to Richard.
Yeah? Was there any cool science experiments in the back that you'd like to do?
The kind of one with the dye.
The subatomic atoms in action.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, that looks like a fun one to do. There's actually YouTube channels out there that listed in the book is Teacher's Pets, Crash Course Kids, Amoeba Sisters, and SciShow Kids, which kind of do some of these experiments that are mentioned in the book. Ourselves, if we get around to it, perhaps we'll do the subatomic atoms in action and we'll record it and put it up on our Facebook page so that other people can see the cool sciencey stuff that's in this book. All right, well, I don't have anything else to add about this awesome book by DC Comics. I want to thank the wonderful Mayiam Bialik for putting this book together. I mean, this is a great series, a great anthology series for kids to learn about science as well as witness it in a comic book form. Yeah, that's about all I got, buddy. How about you? Is there anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. This has been Comics with My Kids. Check out more of our shows over at thecomicscornerbox.blogspot.com or listen to other episodes on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast,
Spotify, Stitcher,
and Anchor.fm. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
All right, Comics with My Kids. Here we go.
Bye.
All right.
Barracuda.
3, 2,
Done.
1. Hello and welcome to Comics with My...
Sorry.
Hello and welcome to I Beat My Kids for banging the microphone when I'm trying to start the podcast.
Sorry.
All right, you done? You done horsing around?
Yeah, just twitched.
Okay, stop hitting the microphone. Why don't you scoot a little closer to the microphone so people can hear you?
Okay.